But as you know, we're also covering multiple cases here at Court TV Live in Wisconsin. We're following the deadly parade attack case. Our cameras are in place there. Our crew has been there all day. And apparently there was a lot of disruption from the defendant today at his own trial. Remember, he is representing himself. Apparently this afternoon, Darrell Brooks spoke out uninterrupted for almost an hour, if you can believe it, raising issues that he thinks the court should address, including asking the judge to recuse herself from the case. Let's bring in now someone who's been there watching it all for us, Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter, standing by in Waukesha to give us the latest. Chanley, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Julie. It was a difficult day again inside this courtroom earlier as a dancing granny, a part of that group for 8 years who was performing at the Waukesha Christmas Parade last November, was on the witness stand. More graphic videos in front of the jury as well. This is Laura Thien, and she spoke extensively about who the dancing grannies were, who was dancing that day in the Christmas parade. And she even showed a diagram of the grannies. Of course, a video again of the dancing grannies all dressed in blue with their pom-poms. There were 9 performing that day. She drew, see the yellow line going through. That was the path of the red SUV right through the middle of their formation as Christmas music was blaring. She didn't know anything was coming from behind. And she talks about this streak of red going past her, and it hit the middle, veered off to the left, and her friends Jenny and Lee were killed instantly. Several others were injured. Of the 6 deaths in this incident, 4 were associated with the dancing grannies. Let's take a listen to some of her testimony.
All I seen were bodies. I thought I was in a war because there were just so many. And I just went into shock, and I just grabbed my jacket like this and went to each body to see who it was and if I could help.
You didn't get a look at the driver at all?
No, I don't have eyes in the back of my head.
Do you recall what happened when people were struck by the vehicle?
No, I couldn't see them being struck from where I was. The vehicle was big, and it was after the vehicle went through our group that I seen all the people that were struck.
Julie, the jury watching multiple angles of graphic videos that were stomach-turning, awful to watch. A terrifying scene, bodies being carried on the hood of that red SUV for what seemed like a long time before being run over. It was awful. But let's take a look at those survivors, because she was able to talk about the victims who lost their lives, and each one talked about, first of all, Jenny Sorensen, who was the glue of the group, is what she told the jury earlier. She was the longest member, 20 years of the Dancing Grannies. And then Lee Owen, 71-year-old, she was behind Jenny in the formation, and she rode with Lee to every practice. They were quite close. And then Tamara Duran, 52-year-old, this was her first parade. As Laura said, it was her first and last parade as a dancing granny. And then Bill Hospital was the husband of Lola, who was dancing in the group. He was there for support. He was passing out ice if the dancing grannies needed something, or water. And he was struck awfully, with the jury having to watch that. He later died undergoing surgery at the hospital. 2 other dancing grannies were struck, she described, and suffered severe catastrophic injuries, but lived. Julie.
Oh my gosh. When you think about what group was affected the most by this. We know all of those groups at the parade were terrorized, the spectators, all of it, but really the dancing grannies, when you count just the sheer number of victims, 4 of them killed. It's just absolutely horrific what they had to endure. Chanley, I know you're well aware, and this jury is well aware of these brutal facts of this case. Tell me, with this testimony, I know also there was more disruption from this defendant, apparently making motions for a dismissal of his case. As I understand it, it happened earlier in the day, but you tell us, please, as we were so in the coverage in Parkland, what happened with him?
He was extra testy today, Julie. He incessantly would interrupt at times, constantly make objections that the judge would overrule. And it got to the point where she called an early, ended a cross-examination early, let the jury leave so that he could lodge this multifaceted motion to dismiss, including his usual grounds of jurisdiction, bias, prejudice, sovereign citizen recognition, a violation of his Sixth Amendment rights, et cetera, et cetera. And she let him talk for almost an hour. And you're in luck because they actually summed it up in about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Let's watch.
There's still no proof being provided. Zero. To constantly say and report this incident as attack, terrorism. It's unfair and it's insensitive.
Mr. Brooks, I've given you about 50 minutes to make your various arguments. You've now repeated yourself a number of times.
Mr. Brooks knowingly, willingly, voluntarily, and intelligently insisted on representing himself in this trial. Much of the last 50 minutes, which this court has graciously extended him the opportunity to go on and on and on, is nothing more than legal mumble jumble.
Objection to that. Your Honor, that's a load of crap.
Many of these issues, if not the vast majority or even all of them, have already been addressed by this court in one way or the other. The issues you raise, for example, regarding subject matter jurisdiction are baseless, they're frivolous, and they're not anything this court needs to address further.
So yes, this went on for over an hour. She ultimately denied the issues again, and it was to the point where I thought she was going to remove him from the courtroom because he kept talking to her even as the jury was brought back in for one last quick witness right before the lunch break. We've only heard from 2 witnesses because of his delay so far.
Oh my, Chanley. Before I let you go, I know you need to get back into the courtroom. I have to ask, I understand you got your hands on his witness list. Oh my. We can't wait to hear what's on this. Share it with us, please.
Yeah, Julie, I did. I pulled the file. Now, in lieu of a witness list, he asked permission for his subpoenas to serve as his witness list. I have them all here. And it's typically the witnesses that were on the prosecution's witness list. He's going to recall some of them. But right off the bat, we have Erica Patterson, the ex-girlfriend. We have the video of these subpoenas, too. We can put up real quick on the screen. But Erica Patterson's one that he wants to recall. The detective who interviewed her is another one that he wants to recall in his own case. And notably, the state of Wisconsin. He wants subpoenaed. The judge took that up yesterday, said that, look, that's an entity, not a person. She discarded it, threw that one out. But this is a look at what we're going to see, and most of these are just other spectators and survivors of the incident, Julie.
Chanley, curious, does he list himself as a witness?
No, he didn't. These are subpoenas. So he wouldn't subpoena himself, but he has that option, and the judge keeps telling him when he wants to make these interruptions that he will have his opportunity, if he wants to take the stand and say what he wants. So we'll have to wait and see.
I know. I've been so curious. I know a lot of people watching are, because she said, you had by this week to file your listserv, who you're going to call, and wondering if he's going to want to give testimony. All right, Chanley Painter in Wisconsin live for us. Thank you so much for all of that.